Hi, Crystal. So these are your cards in concerns to your question of will you find a partner? So I'll go from left to right. Sometimes these are the situation is from the left, what then needs to be done, or the action card, and then the outcome card. So I find with this one it may be a little bit of everything involved, so to speak, of what you need to do with each card, but we'll go off from left to right of what I just said. So we'll go to the left card here. Okay, so the card is stay focused. Now, I'm finding with this particular card, what it can be presenting, this is you. So I'm finding with this card, there's a lot of intensity. So this could mean, for example, if you do get into a relationship with someone, you may possibly move too quick. And this is sort of a bit of a double-edged here, where it's something where maybe you're a bit too intense to someone, or you move too fast and things like that, or you expect quicker outcomes, so to speak. And I think this could be because you're such a deep feeler. You're very sensitive to things and stuff like that. When you're with someone, you're with someone and you're with someone and that's it, where sometimes the feeling isn't returned. So that can also be a lot of, over the top feelings that some people may sort of get for you. Now, this is where I was saying where we've got the sort of double edge here where, where you feel a lot more deeply and things like that. So sometimes, you don't feel appreciated as well. So it's sort of seeing it from, the two sides there. So I think this is something you need to work on, is to stay focused. You have a lot of walls, you've had a lot of hurts, where you've been hurt in the past and things like that. So that's coming through quite strong with this card as well. And it feels, you need to find a balance, between, all right, taking it slow, but also not getting yourself hurt and things like that. So that's what I'm getting from this card here. So I'll move to the second one here. Okay, so you're seeing the situation accurately. So there is something that's happening in regards to this question that you've asked of will you find a partner or things like that. You may have already met somebody, for example, and you're having these feelings towards them. This could mean to you that, yes, what you're thinking is correct. Go with your gut feeling on that of what the issue will be. So going back with this card where the first one I was talking about that balance, that's what I'm finding in this card here. So you're that little bird that's on the bottom there. You got exactly the same amount of weight on the left as you do on the right. So you're sort of playing this balancing act, and it's quite exhausting. I'm finding that emotionally you're quite drained. You're finding, you're getting quite upset with certain little things in your life where you're doing it solo or by yourself and things like that. So if you look at the moon and you look at the night, that's sort of you, where it's sort of like, it's not the happy sun, it's the moon, it's the night sort of thing. Now, taking out of that as well, the moon, I don't know if you are anything spiritual, things like that. Me, for example, where I am, the moon plays a massive part, especially for feminine empowerment and things like that. So if you don't know too much about it, look up, spirituality wise things to do with the moon. You may find, I'm finding that a lot of that will actually help you. Moon will be a big thing for you. Like if you think, back in the old religions and things like that, everything was evolved around the moon. The moon was a part of the woman's cycle. The moon, its phases works the tides of the oceans and things like that. So the moon played a massive, massive part. So that's definitely something that I suggest that you do as well. So we'll go to the third card down here. Okay, so this is your outcome card. Power of joy. Now, if you look down at this little person, is extremely happy. So following sort of the first two steps, that's the goal that you want to get to. So, enjoying life and things like that. And I think too, you need to sort of find a sense of your own self-worth. That's kind of coming through too, that it's sort of portraying in these cards that, you're very, not all the time, but you have tendencies to be codependent. And I find that this is possibly why, you're getting upset, because you want to be in a relationship. Maybe, it can be reflecting of how there's certain things when a person wants to be in a relationship or even just to feel needed and things like that, that can actually portray certain reflections of someone who's codependent. So, they want somebody in their life, not just because they want to, because they need to. They feel that they're complete with somebody there, so to speak. So for you to get to that last stage, I feel that you need to do things for yourself. You have certain walls that you need to bring down because of past hurts. I can completely understand why people put them up and things like that. And that's, fine, absolutely fine. But over time, it becomes repetitive that a person does that, where they put walls up and put walls up and layers and things like that. And at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're not just hurting other people around them, trying to sort of push them away or keep them away if they are hurting you. But if you sort of look at yourself as well, it's hurting you because it's making you, you're putting a barrier there between you and anyone. And sometimes, you'll like a person, or it could be family and things like that. But because it's such a repetition of putting these walls up, it's very hard at a time that you want them for the walls to be down, they're still up, if that makes sense, so to speak. So I'm sort of seeing a lot of barriers as well that you sort of need working on. And a lot of in yourself, I'm feeling sort of, a lot of self-esteem issues, a lot of self-worth issues, things like that. Maybe sometimes you're looking in the mirror not liking what you see, things like that, you need to work on, and things like that. I'm sort of seeing like a lot of exercise stuff, mainly not for health and fitness and stuff like that, but for the mind. I'm thinking things like yoga and stuff like that you may need to do. Now, I did, however, looking at all these cards, you also first asked, before you changed it to relationships, you asked about the job. If you look at this last card, the rainbow in the power of joy, rainbow is a symbol to abundance. Now, abundance can mean a lot of things, but this particular card's showing through that finances and things like that. So if you're currently in a job, you need to look at something that, there's a pay rise involved or a promotion or something like that. If that not be the case for you, I would suggest, you need to start looking for something else, so to speak, something that's going to make you happy as well. I'm finding maybe your work life is a bit stagnant, or if you don't have a job, so to speak, that maybe is where the stagnant sort of coming from, that's a fulfillment that you need in yourself, is what I'm getting from these ones. Also, you said that you're bisexual. I believe that you will meet a guy. Now, obviously, don't go off the reading of what a person said as, I can't look at a girl, I've got to be with a guy. Don't do that, but I'm finding that you will be with a guy. You may already know him, you may not, but within the next 12 months, definitely you're going to meet someone, or you've already met him, and it's sort of going to head down that track, sort of, within the next 6 months to 12 months is what I'm getting. So you either meet this person, or you already know them, and it'll go down that track. That's something that's coming through quite strong with these cards. So I do hope that you enjoyed this. Okay then, bye.